Pharmacy Times. Everything pharmacy, every day.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating because C. diff is arguably the most prominent, the most disruptive, and clearly the longest living surface pathogen in the world, surviving for weeks, months, and even over a year on surfaces. The impacts of C. diff are devastating. Those who go through C. diff infections are in a life-threatening state. There's some fascinating, data points that I just learned as recently as 6 months ago that 1 in 11 patients aged 65 and older who get a C. diff patient die within a month. So I was quite startled to hear that. C. diff infections occur every 45 seconds in the United States, which equated to around 645,000 cases of C. diff last year in just U.S. hospitals and long-term care facilities alone. And the most important thing is the humanistic side, which is really something that I respect so much about the Peggy Lillis Foundation and Christian's leadership on behalf and in memory of his mom, is the humanistic view of C. diff. It is devastating for those who suffer from it, their family members, not only the pain that you experience and discomfort, but it's you get dehydrated. It's embarrassing. It's highly contagious, and the impact of it to the care providers is enormous as well. Not only the risk it puts to the healthcare providers who treat those with C. diff, but also tremendous financial pain that it causes for hospitals and long-term care facilities as well. But our approach as a company and my approach as a human being is to do good for others by saving lives now. That is our mantra. How can we make C. diff visible and equate it to saving lives now and providing greater awareness to humanizing this life-threatening problem and doing good by amplifying awareness, doing good by uh, uh, making this more accessible to anyone who suffers from it or who has family members suffering from it. And hence, again, we're honored to, be a big champion and advocate of the Peggy Lillis Foundation. It's a great question on so many levels. And there's a lot of great technology and great solutions that will kill C. diff. But up until LIV Process, and LIV stands for Light, Identify, Verify, but up until LIV Process became available last March in the United States. And the idea happened 9 years ago when I said, how can you solve a problem you can't see? And with C. diff being the longest living pathogen, the concept was the effort it takes to get rid of C. diff is such, it's going to get rid of everything around it. But how hospitals, nursing homes treat the problem now, they use the kill methodologies or they use the kill cleaning products for C. diff, but they could never verify that C. diff was not in the environment. There's no visual way, yet there's no visual proof, visual evidence, visual verification tools to do so. And we are the first of its kind to give specific quantification, sensitivity, and almost instant visualization in a matter of about 100 to 120 seconds. We can cost effectively, quickly, accurately give you visualization of C. diff post disinfecting cleaning. So now you can spot the target and do little touch up cleaning to make sure you completely eradicate the problem. So it's like anything in life that we have to deal with. The challenges we deal with are much more achievable to deal with and eradicate problems when we can see where the problem is or even recognize it. And visual recognition of where C. diff is a breakthrough at the highest level. So up until this point, it's a guessing game, is the real layperson's term answer. No matter what technology you're using, that it's a complete guessing game to get visual verification prior to LIV Process being available. So we're really proud of it. We're obviously a technology, a company, and a team of people with great purpose. But it's such an important question you ask that I think magnifies our great purpose, and again, doing something collectively and amplifying awareness about how important it is to save lives by educating the public of this solution.
Yeah.
It's a completely safe water-based solution that comes in a 10-ounce bottle. 98% of the solution of the formula is water. 2% of it is a proprietary patented biomolecule. And when the solution is applied on the surfaces, there's a solution applicator that releases a fine mist on surfaces of the water-based formula that dries in about 2 minutes, almost to the second. Once the water evaporates, all that's left is the patented biomolecule that binds to proteins on the outer layers of a viable C. diff spore, a living viable C. diff spore on the surface. Then there's a chemical light bulb that quenches to that biomolecule. That's the microbiology piece. 2 minutes, all that happens. Now what you do is you put on these goggles to block out ambient light. They're orange goggles. You have a lens clip you can put on your phone to take pictures. But we have a customized forensic light that has patented filters that give you visualization in various shades of green. It could be yellowish green, brighter green, but anything that's green is representative of somewhere between 200 to 2,000 viable spores on the surface. So you're catching early stage levels of the C. diff that may have been there for a while, like months on surfaces, but you could never see them before. And you're getting this visualization literally in approximately 2 minutes. And you have the ability to take a picture of those images to share with teammates who are responsible for infection prevention in facilities, as well as environmental services / housekeeping teams. So not only does it make the patient safer, but all of those who are the care providers, we call them the invisible heroes, who are attacking this invisible problem, they're right on top of this potentially deadly problem themselves, and we give them a tool that makes them safer, their family members safer, their team safer, and ultimately elevating patient safety to an exponential, much higher level. Yeah, I love that question because it's a behavior change that's pretty simple. And it simply involves being able to see the target where the trouble spots are. So for instance, a real granular specific example would be the handrails on beds in hospitals. Both the right and left side of the handrail are touched about 200 to 300 times per day, documented in all kinds of articles and periodicals and studies. I have done, maybe since founding the company 9 years ago, pre-market, now that we're on the market, let's say 12, 1,300 demonstrations of the product. I've gone into the cleanest of rooms and facilities. And every time we apply our solution on a handrail, there's going to be some blotches and clusters of green on those handrails. Trash can lids in hospital rooms. Most of us are right-handed. We apply the solution on the top of the trash can lid, the right-hand side always lights up. You track C. diff on your feet, the foot pedals align. What's happening is a movement to create greater awareness with LIV Process on transportable devices. So your transportable infusion pumps, monitors, and the IV poles that are wheeled around the facility, they can be overlooked in the disinfection cleaning processes. So they light up too. And by having awareness to where those trouble spots are in those high touch areas, it's exponentially improved outcomes. So for instance, we have one hospital that's releasing data very soon. I cannot say the name of the hospital yet, but in probably 2 to 3 weeks, the whole world will know about this. But they tracked 6 environmental service techs for a period of 5 months, and they all had different levels of experience. They deployed LIV Process on 2,000 discharge cleanings. At the beginning of that study, there was a baseline of C. diff removed on about 60 to 80% of the surfaces from this team, who knew exactly what their purposes was. So they went to the high touch areas, they're trying to remove it, eradicate it, but they couldn't see it. Deploying LIV process, that number went up to 98.5 to 99.3% of surfaces. No more C. diff on every discharge cleaning on the last 2-3 months of that study. So that's breakthrough improvement in operational execution and performance metrics of the infection prevention and cleaning teams working together. We also have 2 facilities. One is a VA hospital, again, waiting to get clearance to release the data, but they are taking calls from every VA hospital in the country. The 4 months after deploying the process, they had no C. diff infections. Another hospital, University Health in San Antonio, the 9 months after using LIV process, 120 less C. diff infections. Now, I will preface it, LIV process isn't the only reason there's less C. diff infections. It requires it being integrated into a high-level cleaning protocol. But being able to see in a matter of minutes, being able to see for literally $3 per discharge cleaning per room and 2 minutes of your time that there's no more C. diff on those high touch areas, you have made a quantum leap in making that environment safer for everyone in the environment. So we're really proud of that. And we're seeing more and more of this data coming out, which aligns with 3 really important things I want to share in this opportunity with all of you today. It's similar to Christian and the Lillis and the Peggy Lillis Foundation. We're all about saving lives now. We're all about standing up and being assertive with amplifying awareness and accessibility to solutions and technologies like ours. But our really big goal is to make everyone aware that there are solutions to take preventative action instead of reactive responses to when someone gets C. diff. And right now, the challenge is, as you guys know, what I learned from the great conversations we've had, meetings we've had with Christian and his team. I think it was around 2015, only I think it was 25% of people knew that what C. diff was. Today, it's maybe 50%. How can we get that to 100%? How can we? Isn't it fascinating that the largest, most significant, biggest problem in infection prevention is clear to us what it is, yet half the population doesn't know that. How much of a leap would that be if we can make it create awareness at that level? How much of a leap would that be if we could provide the process to every hospital in the world to provide visualization to this problem and ultimately save lives? And that alone would be, that's our ultimate vision. Our goal as a company is to be maniacally focused on saving lives now and look for other voices to help us amplify awareness, experts in the field, but also the patients and the family members, and just create this whole movement that, again, I couldn't be more proud of Christian, his team, and honoring the legacy of his mom to do something like this. We're just glad to be, part of it and truly honored and blessed, to be able to meet people like all of you who get it. But I think our job, never underestimate the power of each of our voices to make a difference and to live it every day. And never let that distract you from the noise and distractors who might be slow to adopt. We just keep our head down and every day focus on elevating awareness and, to this big problem with a solution that, again, up to this point, you couldn't see it. Well, now as of a year ago, March, it's been 1 year, we can make it visible, which is certainly going to enhance all of our ability to, do something and accelerate solutions to eradicate this problem and prevent it before it spreads. This is a great question. I'm going to give an unfiltered response. And I will preface it to say it's the response of a person who has dedicated the last 10 years to this purpose. But one of the problems we have, and this is, I think, a US problem as much as anywhere, we hear a lot about the importance of room turnover. And we hear, for instance, we'll get pushed back and say, well, this is going to add 2 minutes to our discharge cleaning. And we say, well, what's the amount of time it takes when you actually get a C. diff patient in your facility? Well, let's go beyond that. Let's go to, this is something that Christian really emphasizes that has really resonated with our whole company, our whole team, which is the humanistic side of it. C. diff infections are horrific. And in every way, they smell, they're embarrassing, enormous gastrointestinal pain. 4 people an hour are dying from it almost, right? So since we woke up today, I've been up for whatever since 6 a.m. I'm in Chicago. I've been up since 5 a.m. But the long story short is, you're looking at like 35, 40 people have died just today since I woke up. And you can keep doing all these numbers and analytics. But when I hear that, I go, really? And then they'll compare this to technologies that don't provide microbial visualization. They'll compare it to a wide range of solutions that they'll say, oh, it's killing C. diff. And we know if it's used right, it will kill C. diff. But you still don't have verification that you did it. So we get kind of, let's say, a little frustrated and want to shake people and go, come on. And here's the other thing. We have one hospital that I shared with you in Texas. How much time have they saved by having 120 less C. diff infections over 9 months? They have saved hours. How much money have they saved? I'd say exactly. They have saved a minimum of around $40,000 per patient to the hospital. So that's well over $4 million. And their head of environmental services said, we can fund the environmental service team payroll for the next 3-4 years by this, right? We could buy product for the next 2 decades by this. And again, this isn't a commercial to buy more the process, but it's a commercial or a message, not commercial. It's a message and an initiative to say, you got to wake up here. And the CDC protocols, which again, the CDC is upside down right now, are an excuse for people not to adopt new technology, right? So, and we intend to do everything possible to be a recommended required protocol by CDC, Joint Commission, all those things. And we do believe that will happen because, again, how can you solve a problem you can't see? No matter who you are, what level of expertise or lack thereof, the end result is the same. When you can see the problem, you can solve it. So from our perspective, this is additive and makes all of the kill products, whether they be UV technology, whether they be sporicidal disinfectant wipes, whatever methodologies there are, we make them all smarter, faster, more cost-effective by just being able to see where the problem is. So, but it's a big challenge. It's a political challenge. It's a business challenge. It's an implementation challenge. It's a change movement. And it's human nature to resist change. But how do we support the early adopters and partner with them to see this vision forward? And again, it goes back to the H word, humanize it. We got to humanize it together. And I share with you, if you meet one patient who's ever had a C. diff infection, we have a client out west. And I open up my presentations. I always say, how can you solve a problem you can't see? But have any of you, and I didn't ask this of you today, have any of you had a family member, a friend, or loved one who had a C. diff infection, right? And when you ask people that, half have known about it, half don't know about it, educate them about it. But this one particular client said, Michael, how fast can you get out here? 3 of my 4 grandparents in the last 4 years have died from C. diff infections. And 2 of them, I couldn't see the last 6 to 8 months of their life. He said, so we're all in. You don't even need to present it. Got the research, got the data, talk to 2 of your testimonial customers, get out here as fast as you can. We got out there, they implemented it right away. And what has happened? Their cleaning protocols have improved tremendously. Their turnover time in the rooms has improved tremendously, and they have reduced incidents. And again, is it all because of the process? No, but we're certainly making an impact. And I tell our team, this is what saving lives, if we're really serious about saving lives, that's what we stay focused on, is the humanistic aspect of our great purpose. And all the other stuff will fall into place. There's a great book called The Go-Giver. And The Go-Giver is all about that. It's, the rewards of being selfless and helping others, the exponential return and joy and gratitude we get from that. You can't even put a price on it. But ironically, all that stuff falls into place, even in how we look at that. It gives us the perspective we all need to do the good in the world, one day at a time. So, not to get on a soapbox about it, but that really is kind of what we're all about in the process, and what I'm about, in my capacity, leading our team. Take time to look at where the problem is, and you'll be amazed at how fast you can improve the situation and solve the problem. And most importantly, take time to do whatever you can, all of us together, to humanize this problem. And together, we will make a big impact.
Pharmacy Times. Everything pharmacy, every day.